Every single day we wake up on a planet that feels perfect. We have breathable air, liquid water, and food. But what if our world is actually mediocre compared to what exists in the vast universe? Scientists theorize about superhabitable planets that are better suited for life. One famous hypothetical example is Planet Hestia. Imagine a world with no massive barren continents, but instead millions of medium islands surrounded by shallow oceans. Think about bizarre creatures soaring through a dense atmosphere. This perfect world orbits an orange dwarf star that will outlive our sun by tens of billions of years. Would humanity thrive if we moved to this alien paradise? Before we begin, take just 1 second to subscribe, because videos like this take hours of research and editing to create. So just click the subscribe button, it's an easy task. Now let's begin. Our sun is a yellow dwarf star. It has a lifespan of about 10 billion years. But an orange dwarf star lives for up to 70 billion years. This gives life a huge amount of time to evolve and adapt. Our sun is already 4.5 billion years old. In another billion years, it will become too hot for life on Earth. But Planet Hestia orbits a much more stable and gentle star. Orange dwarfs emit less harmful ultraviolet radiation, which means less cellular damage for any living beings. If humans migrated to this new solar system, we would have an unimaginable amount of time to grow as a species. We would not have to worry about our host star burning out anytime soon. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing a slightly smaller but deeply comforting orange sun warming your face. The light would be softer and less blinding. This calm environment would drastically change our daily psychological state and make us feel more at peace with nature. Planet Hestia is a super-Earth. This means it is larger and heavier than our current home. It has a mass that is about 2 times greater than Earth. This increased mass creates a stronger gravitational pull. If you weigh 80 kilograms right now, you would feel significantly heavier on this new world. Our bones and muscles would have to adapt to this constant downward force. Initially, moving around would be exhausting, and walking would feel like an intense workout, but over multiple generations, human bodies would evolve to become shorter and structurally thicker. Our bone density would naturally increase to support our weight. Despite the physical challenge, the high gravity allows the planet to hold onto a much thicker atmosphere. This dense blanket of air provides incredible protection from cosmic rays and meteorites. The air pressure would be much higher, but we could still breathe comfortably. It would feel like living at the bottom of a gentle and invisible ocean. The thick atmosphere on this planet changes everything about how life functions. Because the air is so dense, it can support massive creatures that could never exist on Earth. Imagine seeing animals the size of blue whales effortlessly floating through the sky above you. Flying would be incredibly easy due to the high air density. Human beings could potentially strap on simple mechanical wings and glide through the air with minimal effort. The sound would also travel completely differently. Voices would carry much farther and sound richer and deeper. The atmospheric composition might contain slightly more oxygen, which would fuel massive plant growth. We would see colossal trees that reach heights of several hundred meters stretching into the orange sky. The entire world would be a sprawling jungle of vibrant colors and alien vegetation. Every breath you take would be deeply refreshing and full of rich organic scents. You would feel connected to this ecosystem. Geography on this alien world is vastly different from our giant continents. Planet Hestia lacks enormous landmasses, like Africa or Asia. Instead, the entire globe is covered by a shallow ocean mixed with millions of medium islands. The water is only a few dozen meters deep in most places. This means sunlight can easily reach the ocean floor almost everywhere. Because of this endless sunlight, the marine life is incredibly diverse and vibrant. Vast coral reefs cover the entire planet, forming underwater cities of unimaginable beauty. There are no massive dry deserts or frozen wastelands. The ocean currents evenly distribute the heat across the entire globe. The climate remains consistently warm and tropical no matter where you travel. Humans would become a seafaring species, building our homes on boats or floating platforms. We would sail from island to island trading and exploring without ever facing harsh freezing winters. Life would feel like an endless tropical vacation. Time itself would feel completely different on this world. A single day here lasts for 36 hours instead of 24. This longer cycle means you get a much longer period of daylight, followed by an extended restful night. Imagine having more time to work, play, and relax, all within a single day. You would not feel constantly rushed by the setting sun. The night sky would be absolutely breathtaking, because this planet has 4 moons. Having multiple celestial bodies orbiting above would light up the darkness. You could sit on a warm sandy beach and watch these giant pale spheres dancing across the starry canvas. The gravitational pull from these 4 moons would create complex and fascinating ocean tides. The rhythmic sound of the waves would constantly remind you of the dynamic universe around you. These beautiful nights would deeply inspire poetry, art, and philosophical conversations. We would finally have enough time to slow down and truly appreciate our existence. Living in this stable and perfect environment would radically shift human psychology. On our current world, so much of our history is driven by resource scarcity and harsh climates. We fight over fertile land, clean water, and safe living spaces. But on a super habitable planet with endless lush islands and shallow oceans, resources would be universally abundant. Food would grow rapidly in the thick oxygen-rich atmosphere. Every island could easily sustain its local population. Without the constant threat of starvation or freezing weather, human anxiety levels would drastically drop. We would no longer need to hoard resources or wage violent wars over basic survival needs. People would naturally become more generous and peaceful. When survival is guaranteed, human beings tend to focus on higher pursuits like science, art, and deep connections. Our entire societal structure would shift from competition to collaboration. We would finally learn how to simply be present with one another. However, moving to a completely alien world would not be without serious challenges. The native biology would be entirely foreign to our immune systems. We could not simply land our ships and immediately start eating the local fruits or hunting the native animals. Their biological makeup might rely on different amino acids or complex proteins that our bodies cannot digest. We would need to bring our own crops and carefully cultivate them in enclosed biodomes at first. Over hundreds of years, we might genetically engineer our crops to thrive in the native soil. We would also need to monitor microscopic bacteria and strange airborne fungal spores. Because the environment is so perfectly suited for life, viruses and bacteria would replicate incredibly fast. Our medical science would have to rapidly advance to protect our populations from unknown diseases. It would require a massive coordinated effort to safely integrate our earthly biology into this dense alien ecosystem. Once we fully adapted, this new planet would offer a profound spiritual awakening. When you are surrounded by such overwhelming natural beauty, it forces you to reflect on your place in the universe. Imagine sitting by the glowing bioluminescent waters at night, listening to the gentle hum of alien life. You would realize how insignificant all our previous earthly arguments truly were. All those political debates and superficial divisions would seem so pointless under a sky with 4 moons. We would look back at our history and wonder why we ever treated each other so poorly. The vastness of this new untouched world would give us a blank canvas to restart our civilization. We could build cities that harmoniously blend with the giant forests instead of destroying them. We would design sustainable floating villages that respect the local marine life. This planet would teach us humility and remind us that we are just small passengers on a magnificent cosmic journey. The way we interact with our families and communities would also completely transform. Since the day is 36 hours long, parents would have ample time to spend with their children. You would not come home exhausted after a brief day at work just to immediately fall asleep. Families would share long, meaningful meals and teach their children how to navigate the shallow seas. Communities would naturally grow closer because island living requires teamwork and mutual trust. Neighbors would help each other build boats, harvest crops, and maintain their homes. The isolation and loneliness that plagues modern cities would slowly fade away. People would rely on face-to-face conversations rather than staring at small digital screens all day. The shared experience of being pioneers on a beautiful new world would bond everyone together. You would know the names of everyone on your island and treat them like extended family. This deep sense of belonging is something our souls deeply crave. Ultimately, the idea of moving to Planet Hestia forces us to deeply evaluate our current reality. We currently live on a beautiful blue marble that is perfectly suited to our specific biology. We do not need to wait for spaceships to take us away to find peace and connection. The true lesson of this superhabitable world is that paradise is often a matter of perspective. We can choose to treat our current Earth with the same reverence and wonder that we would give an alien world. We can choose to be kind to our neighbors and protect our oceans and cherish our time. Life is incredibly brief no matter which planet you are standing on. Every single second is a precious gift that we should never take for granted. We have the power to create a peaceful and abundant society right here and right now. What do you think about this? Comment your thoughts. Did you get value from this video? If so, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.